Hi, this is Lucky Robin, and today I am dehydrating Cayenne peppers and I am saving seeds. So this is how you save seeds for Cayenne peppers. You want one that is completely red. This one is slightly immature. This is not good for seeds. It's fine for drying to make powder, but you want one fully red and mature for seeds. And I just take my knife, and after I cut the end off, I slip it in here, and then I just slice all the way up. The cayenne, and then we open it up. Take the knife and slide it from the pointy end, and you may end up cutting your pepper. That's fine. Some of them are stronger than others, but you take it from the pointy end and you come towards the top of the pepper and you slide out the membrane and the seeds, and then you put your seeds in your bowl that you're keeping off to the side. Cut these into manageable pieces and put them on your dehydrator tray. Now you want to line your dehydrator tray with wax paper or parchment paper, because when you're working with hot peppers, because if you don't, the capsicum oil that's in your peppers will get into your mat, and it is very, very difficult to get that out. I mean, it's doable, but you need to soak it in like Everclear or something like that to get it to come off. So once again, I slit all the way up the pepper, open it up, and it doesn't always want to stay open, but once you get it to, and then slide it down and pull out the seeds and membrane. And sometimes you'll get some stubborn ones. Okay. So it's just as easy as that, and I'll come back to you when I'm ready to do the next step of seed saving and get the peppers into the dehydrator. Alright, so I've got my bowl of pepper seeds, and I'm just gonna dump them out on here. And then pick through and get the ones that don't have any pieces of membrane on them and put them on the other paper towel. And if any have membrane like that, I'm just going to pull them off the membrane. It's fairly simple. Okay, you don't want to leave any of the membrane on the seed or it could rot. Yeah, I can already see that there's a few seeds in here that are not gonna be productive. Like that, it's got a black blob in the center. Those ones won't be productive. And this one here, it's completely flat. There's no swelling at all to the seed, so it won't be productive either. So once I get these all separated, then I'm going to take them over to the sink and wash them and get the last of any residue off them, and then I'll show you what I do from there. Okay, so I've got a bowl of water here, and I'm going to put my seeds in there. And wash them. Try to get the last residue off. And I may not be able to get all of the residue off this way, but I found once I lay them out to dry, if I check them after 24 hours, then the rest of it will scrape right off. So that's pretty good. I want the seeds that have sunk to the bottom. The ones that are on top are no good. Alright, I got the ones that sank to the bottom, and I'm spreading them out on the napkin to dry. And it'll take several days to dry. It'll take about a day to dry out from being soaked in water while I clean them, and then it'll take a couple weeks to permanently dry for storage before it can be sealed up for next spring. It's the only one I have that these won't go completely through, but they get stuck. Get that. And then I'm gonna get another paper towel to soak up some of this water. And if you don't do the water method, you're going to end up with a lot of seeds that won't do anything next year. So it's just an important step to take. The floaters they're just not mature, even in a fully mature pepper. All right. So then you want to spread them out. You don't want them to be touching each other. It's a little fiddly, but it's worth it. You have really nice seeds in the spring. And you didn't have to pay anything for them. Okay, well, sometimes even if you did have one that fell to the bottom, like this, it's still only half a seed, so you want to eliminate that. So this is your final sort. So you just want to make sure there's nothing like that, because it had the heaviness, and it probably was a seed that I cut in half when I cut the peppers in half. So it was probably a viable seed before that. Yeah. After these have dried for about the 24 hours, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to get these little red bits that are on some of them off. If I can't get them off right now. And of course, what is probably the most important step of all, labeling your pepper seeds. Especially for drying more than one kind. If you're using a Sharpie like I am, it can bleed through a paper towel onto your table. So you might want to put a couple layers under it so it doesn't. And then you'll just take this napkin and you will tuck it away somewhere where it can dry undisturbed for a couple of weeks. Laid out flat like this. You don't want to roll it up or anything. It needs exposure to the air. So that's how you save pepper seeds. And now we'll move on to put in the actual pepper into the dehydrator to dry and then to powder. But I put this on the vegetable setting, which is 135 degrees for 24 hours. And so they look like now. And in 24 hours they should be ready to be turned into a powder. Alright, my cayenne peppers are all dry now after 24 hours. And I've combined the two trays onto this one tray. But this was 2 trays worth. And now I'm going to put them in the spice grinder and grind them into powder, so it'll be cayenne powder. And for this you're gonna need a dedicated spice grinder, because you're not gonna want to grind any other herbs or spices once you've used a spice grinder to grind hot peppers, because I don't care how well you clean it, it will not be well enough, and it will get into any spice you grind in the future. So dedicated spice grinder. Alright, so this is my dedicated spice grinder. It's labeled peppers only. Now make sure you have your glove on, because even though the oils are mostly dried, you still don't want to take that risk. And put your dried peppers on into the spice grinder. This one will go ahead and take up all of it. Alright. And you want to pulse it. When you're first going, you just want to pulse it a little bit at a time. If you just hold it down, it'll take longer for the peppers to actually break up. So, helps to plug it in. Okay, now oftentimes there will be a powder release when you take the lid off, so be careful and don't inhale. Okay, it's not quite as fine as I would like it to be, so we're going to pulse it a little bit more. Ooh, strong. Okay, we'll wait a few seconds for that to dissipate. There's going to be quite a bit of powder up in the lid, so we will brush that down. Okay, that is the consistency that I want. Alright, now to get this powder out, I use a makeup brush. This is one that I bought just for cleaning out the spice grinder and getting the powder off. And this is just, well, when I was a teenager, they just called this a blush brush, but now they've got all these fancy terms. So this is, I think the specific one is called a total face brush. But they're relatively cheap. This is by e.l.f. and I think it's like $3 or $2. Way cheaper than most makeup brushes. And it's the best thing I've found for getting the powder out of the lid, so that you use as much of it as you can use as much of it as possible. Unfortunately, that's one of the problems of getting it all the way down to a powder instead of just flaking it. That's probably a good half a teaspoon. Most cayenne, or most recipes with cayenne in them, I'll show you how much came out, do it by about an 1/8. Ooh, that's strong. Boy, I don't have any problems breathing tonight. Yeah, and so if you wear makeup, yeah, just make sure this doesn't get in with your makeup brushes afterwards, or your skin is gonna burn. All right, that's it for our, there we go, cayenne powder.